Hi folks, welcome to the second part. Now we're going to use the perimeter area and volume skills that we've done before and apply them to sample questions. So I'm doing a question of each type. So the first one is a volume one, and that's a non-calculator one that I have seen. So let's quickly run through these. So calculate the volume of these shapes. These are typically worth 1 mark each. So as you know, volume is, I'm having real trouble with my pen today. It's having issues. So length times width times depth. So this cube, each side is 3 centimeters. So 3 times 3 times 3, that comes to 27 centimeters. And remember, because it's volume, we're using the cubed. B, calculate the volume of the shape. We're just multiplying these together. 2 times 10 is 20, times 5 is 100. So 100 centimeters cubed. And this last one is a little more tricky. It's a shame it's only worth 1 mark, but this one actually tells you what the volume is. So the total volume is 300 centimeters cubed. We need to find the missing edge. So this is the missing edge at the bottom. So we know that the inside of the shape is actually 300 centimeters cubed. So we're going to work backwards. When we already have the answer, if we're working backwards, we'll end up doing a division to get back down to what this missing edge is. So first of all, I would multiply these two sides together because we know those, and that's 30. Now, this is like saying, 30, sorry, I rephrase that. I said we were going backwards, weren't we? So we take the total, which is 300, and we're going to divide it by 30. So 30 goes into 3 how many times? Oh, it doesn't. But 30 does go into 30. It goes in once. And I can't take a 0 and divide it by 30. It's just 0. So this missing edge is 10 meters. And, if you're not sure about that, then you need to kind of prove it to yourself by imagining, well, I've now got that 10 meters. What if I was just to work out the volume like I normally would? So 5 times 6 times 10. Oh, there's that funny line that I had in the other video. Let's get rid of that one there. My pen is so sensitive today. What does that come to? Well, 5 times 6 is 30, times 10 is 300. So yeah, that's a bit of a weird one that I've seen recently. And a bit cruel as well, I think. Let's move on. So, exam question 2. I've made this a calculator question. So calculator ready. The front I've just noticed a grammar mistake, but you know what? Let's just carry on. The front of an apartment needs painting. A tin of paint covers 5 meters squared, and each tin is £9.99. How much will be cost? How much will it cost to paint the front of an apartment? This is quite a long question, and this one will be worth 4 to 5 marks. So what do we want to end up with? We want to know the cost of paint. That is the final thing. So our final answer will have a pound sign. Working backwards, in order to work out the cost, I need to know how many tins of paint am I going to need. So I'm just kind of working backwards. How many tins will I need? I know they're £9.99 each, and I know that each one covers 5 meters squared. So the fact that it says that each tin of paint covers 5 meters squared makes me think that this is an area question as well as what is the final cost. In order to know, how many of those tins will I need to know the area that I'm painting. So this is the bulk of it. I need to know what is the area that I want to paint. So this is the yellow background here. That is what we want. I'm just going to delete that and go back to my pen. So I've got to, so that's what I'm finding. I've got to find what is the area of the yellow shaded part or the background. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the door, the brown door, is actually floating in midair slightly. So sorry about that, my bad. Okay, so I'm going to work out the area of the wall first of all. So that's my step one. Area of wall. Now, as you know, area is length times width, and that is given here 4.5 times 3. So 4.5 times 3 will give you 13.5 meters squared. Now, looking at that, I could make a guess as well. If each tin of paint covers, 5 meters squared, you could take a guess and then work it out from there. But the thing is, if you have enough to paint all of that shape, you will paint over the door and the window. We definitely don't want to do that. Definitely not the window, but not in this case. So we need to find out the total area of the door and the window. And once we've got the area of the door and the window, we're going to take it away from the total area of that wall, and that will leave us with what the area of the wall is, the shaded part. So the area of the door, we've got 2 times 0.7, and that will give you 1.4 meters squared. And I also need to know the area of the window. Now, this, to be careful here, because I've only just noticed, I've done one measurement in meters and the other in centimeters. That is a bit sneaky, because if I was just to go ahead and do 1.5 times 50, well, that would be, the answer is 75, but what is it? Is it 75 meters squared? Well, that would be a massive window. Is it 75 centimeters squared? Well, that would be a smaller window, much smaller window. So all of the units of measurement, and you hear me banging on about it all the time, they have to be the same. Now, everything else here is in meters. So I'm going to convert this 50 centimeters into meters. And that's the tricky part, because that's when, for level 1, you have to think, well, how do I convert centimeters to meters? There are 100 centimeters in a meter. So 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. I'm going to draw my little diagram here. This is what I've been doing in class. So we want to take centimeters and go into meters, which means from centimeters to meters, I'm following this bottom arrow, so I'm going to be dividing. So I've got 50 divided by, what do we divide by? Well, we divide by the fact that there's 100 centimeters in there. And that gives me 0.5 meters. So this 50 centimeters is now 0.5 meters. Now we can find the area of this window. So 1.5 times 0.5 will give you 0.75 meters squared. What is the combined total area then? So what is the area of the door, which is 1.4, add the area of the window, which is 0.75. Well, the total area is 2.15 meters squared. So that door and that window comes to 2.15 meters squared. So now I can find out the area of wall to be painted. So that is the larger size of the wall, take away the area of the window and the door. So 13.5 take away 2.15 gives you 11.35. Okay, I'm just going to make some room here. I did say this is a big question. I'm going to be using this space down here. So I need to paint 11.35. Oh, sorry about that. Let's go back. Here we go. I need to paint 11.35 meters squared. So this number here. Now each tin covers 5 meters squared. So you need to then figure out how many tins of paint are you going to need. Well, one paint gives you 5 meters. One tin gives you 5 meters squared. Therefore, 2 tins equals 10 meters squared. 3 tins would equal 15 meters squared. Now you need 11.35. If you buy 2 tins, you haven't got enough. If you buy 3 tins, you're going to have extra, but you can't help that. That's life. So we're going to buy 3 tins of paint. Now remember, our final answer is a pound sign. How much does it cost? Well, we're going to buy 3 tins and they are £9.99 each. And that will give you a grand total of £29.97. Phew, that was a long one. There's a lot of points in there. That could have been more like a 5 mark one there. So you find the area of the shaded wall to be painted. We do that by, we're going to have to take away the area of the door and the window. Then we can decide how many tins of paint we need and find the final answer. I feel like it's lunch now after that. But I've got one more example to go, which is kind of similar, but just with perimeter. A water feature needs a wooden border all the way around it. So all the way around it means perimeter, distance around the edge. Each wooden border is 25 centimeters in length. So imagine a little wooden border. Let's say it's a little decorative wooden border there. They're 25 centimeters each, and they're going to go all the way around the outside edge. Please note, this is not to scale. Let's continue. One of these wooden borders costs £2.99 each. How much? Oh God, grammar today. How much will cost? How much will it cost to put a wooden border around the water feature? Several steps. Remember that your final answer here is a cost. So I'm expecting something with a pound sign. How much will it cost to put a wooden border around this water feature? We need to know the total perimeter. So let's start adding. Right, 50 centimeters, add 1 meter. Well, stop. I've now got a different unit of measurement. Everything else seems to be in centimeters, so let's convert this 1 meter into centimeters. That one's a bit easier because there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Let's keep going. So we're going to add 100, then we're going to add 125, then we're going to add 50, and oh, don't forget, we've got a missing edge here and a missing edge here. We've got to figure these out. So this missing edge, this first one, is a combination of 125 centimeters take away 50. So that'll give you 75. So that's 75 centimeters. Let's add that onto there. I think I'll just use a little different colour. Go back to my red. Here we go. Now we need to find this edge. I'm going to find that by taking the longest edge, which is 100. I'm going to take away 50. So that one is 50. Don't guess, don't eyeball. It's not to scale. Then we're going to add all of those together. I've made this a non-calculator question. That's really tight, actually. Perhaps this is more of a calculator question, but I've just added that up. That's 450 centimeters. Okay. Now, that's the total distance. Now we need to know how many times will one of these wooden borders go into that. So now we've got to do a little division. So 450 divided by 25. How many times does 25 go into 45? Well, it can only fit in the once. And then there are actually 20 left over. So now I need to know, well, how many times does 20 25, sorry, go into 200. That was not so bad. 25 goes into 100 4 times, so it'll go into 208 times. So I need 18 of these wooden borders, and they are $2.99 each. Now, without a calculator, we did decimal points before. There are 2 decimal places here, but now we're going to ignore it and imagine that it's 299 times 18. So we've got a little grid going on. So 10 times 200 is 2,000. 10 times 90 is 900. 10 times 9 is 90. 2 times 8 is 16 with the added zeros on. 8 times 9 is 72 with the extra zero. And I just have to move that pound sign out of the way. That's really irritating me now. Goodbye. Let's keep going. And then 8 times 9 is 72. So now we're just going to add all of these together. Oh, I'm so cruel. Writing it out here on the side of my keyboard. Okay. Not sure. I've not actually done that. Right. So I'm going to do it again. Oh no, I did do it right. Okay. When you add them all together, that comes to 5,382. Now it's actually 2 decimal places. So if I put a decimal point there, that means that it will cost you £53.82. Pence. And you know what? I'm not feeling confident about that, so I'm just going to do 299 times 18. I am going to check. It is correct. Thank goodness for that. Not too shabby. That is the end of my 3 examples. Have a go at the set work for this week. A lot of watching of videos, I'm afraid, but of course we are revising a rather large section all at once, so it's going to feel like a lot this week. Don't hate me too much. Okay, thanks.